is on the air.
We're coming to you live from Manhattan, as we do every Saturday night. There might be some sirens in the background because
I'm in New York City,
the snowstorm has gone by.
I'm in New York City, and I have to have a window open because even though it's like stupid cold outside, it's like 70 degrees in my studio.
Right.
And so
we got that going.
They got their choices. The fan, you can have the fan on, or have a window open, and I think a window open is much better. I was telling Wink before we went on the air that came to work today, and lo and behold, a pipe that should not be leaking was leaking right. Well, it leaked into the air conditioner, so it was like leaking over where I'm a vendor's rep for Dell computers right now, and walked into the store, and as I'm coming down the escalator, I see two guys on ladders, a lot of plastic over where my laptops should be, and no laptops. And it turned out that the pipe that goes from the bathrooms to the sewers, for some bizarre reason, it's an exposed pipe, had been leaking since Thursday.
Wow. Okay. Yep.
And they had to dismantle the entire display area, and it leaked into the air conditioner, and it smelled like poop because that's what was in those pipes.
Yeah. So not good.
Yeah. So they cleaned everything up, but now comes the disinfecting part of it.
Yeah. The fun
That's
part.
how my day actually started out shitty, but it got better.
Good for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good day. It was actually turned out to be a good day for me. It was a good day. It was a nice day here in Manhattan.
Yeah, as they say. Yeah. Indeed.
So, ladies and gentlemen, how was your Saturday? And welcome.
Yes.
To the Roundhouse Power Hour of whatever we want to talk about. And you can listen to us on over at netrootsradio.com,
Yes.
where if you are at netrootsradio.com, you can join us in the chat room, which you will find that linky poo at the bottom of the webpage. And also at the bottom of that page is a link to our, the link will take you to Kiwi IRC, and then all you would need to do is just... I'm cleaning my glasses, and they are like knocking up against my microphone. And you can join us in the chat room via Kiwi IRC. And the chat room is Netroots Radio. And maybe I'll be there. I'm not capable of multitasking because I'm too attention deficit. But I'm there. And Wink will be there.
So we got that going on. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah,
momentarily.
and
I'm still setting
and
up,
there's usually a couple of other people there.
Yeah.
And also, while you're at the bottom of our homepage, you'll see another link to our Patreon, the Netroots Radio Patreon, and become a Patreon and help us pay for our servers because they're the only people who do get paid. They're
somebody's got to get paid around here.
We have an IT guy in England. And our servers are located at the San Carlos Apache Reservation in Arizona. So we have an American-made business here, so support American jobs.
Heck yeah.
You know, and who knows? You might get a semi-cool bumper sticker if you drive.
Yes,
or
indeed.
you can cut it up and use it as like if you're embarrassed about owning a laptop, an Asus or Dell or an HP, you can always put the bumper sticker right over where the logo is.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, cover up the logo so therefore you can just say, okay,
there's people that cover up the Apple logo, so what can I say,
Heck yeah, absolutely.
What can I say, guy came in, some of the fun things about this job are the stories that people bring in to me as to why they need a new laptop. Gentleman came in today, had a 10-year-old Dell Precision.
Wow.
These are workhorse. They're still made. They're bulky. They're blocky. They're designed to be taken from your office to a job site.
Yeah.
Because these really have. What we have done is in every other laptop computer manufacturer, taken the old chassis and just upgraded all the internal components in it. Like
Right.
like that particular computer laptop can dock, so it can become a desktop, but it's got enough horsepower to run AutoCAD, which is
Yep.
a computer aided architectural program.
Yep.
And this guy turned his back on it, and somebody stole it. Stole a 10-year-old laptop that was
Wow.
probably running XP Professional.
Yeah.
Lots of luck. You're never going to be able to upgrade that thing. Although it would
No,
probably be
it's
pretty
done.
awesome to put Linux on it, but then you've got all that horsepower and nothing really to use it for.
Right.
It would probably make a really good gaming computer too because of the power underneath it. Those are really powerful laptops.
Heck yeah.
Because they have to be because of the work that they do. So yeah.
So
That
yeah.
was one of my stories for today. Besides
Love.
the broken shit pipe and
Right.
in the so
So it's almost
flooding
like
the air
Flint.
conditioner that was right above us. Yeah.
Yeah. You're almost like Flint there at in Manhattan tonight. So
Well,
with
yeah.
the
And speaking of
drinking
that, if
water
any of you guys were
situation.
watching Rachel Maddow, some very distressing news was reported. It was a press conference in Flint, and they have discovered that some homes are testing for lead
Right.
4 times the EPA minimum of lead in the drinking water, which means if people who picked up the filters, they still have to get their water tested to make sure that the filters are actually doing their job
Right.
and they're not being overloaded because there's like, instead of the 150 parts per billion, there's like 4,000 parts. I mean, it's ridiculously high number, or it's 15 parts per billion
Yep.
in the water, and it's like stupidly high. So all of these filters that met, the criteria to filter out lead up to a certain level, there's a good probability that those filters are useless.
How about
And
that? Yeah.
and the chemicals that are supposed to be that they put into the water that they're now using to seal the pipes, apparently, there may have been too much leaching. They should just. And Snyder's just saying, get your water tested. I mean, he doesn't give a shit.
No.
An
he doesn't.
entire generation of children in Flint, Michigan have or will have behavioral and cognitive issues because of them not wanting to spend a couple of $1 million to prevent this. And what actually needs to be done is every single in the entire plumbing water system needs to be, the pipes, they need to be replaced, period. Everybody who owns a home in Flint, Michigan
Well, yeah.
cannot sell it because it has no value. They cannot get a bank loan to do any improvements because it has no value.
Right.
The
Indeed.
every single piece of residential property in Flint, Michigan is worthless.
Yeah. If you can't
And now
sell that house,
Americans know what America under a right-wing president will look like. It will look like Flint, Michigan, and Detroit, Michigan.
Yep.
Because they don't give a shit.
They don't.
And also, speaking of not giving a shit, Donald Trump is getting kind of thready in Iowa, saying, "You better vote for me, or it's going to be colossal waste of time and money." What fucking money? You got all this free publicity from the networks.
Yeah.
Oh, the money you're going to lose, you're not going to get any from, scamming people on veterans. The fundraiser that he held for the veterans, the donation page sent you to his PAC. Sent them to his donation page.
Right.
So the money, whatever money you pledged was not going to veterans. It was going to Donald Trump.
There you go.
And other than that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I was reading it was somewhere it was going to cost $300 million to replace all the piping in Flint.
Just think
So,
about that: $300 million
yep,
as opposed to a couple of $1 million to add for water for treating the for putting something into the water that would actually seal the pipes.
yep. So,
See, and
yeah,
but then again, you're seeing this happening because you have corporate interest. Seriously, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but you have to understand that we have been conditioned to drink bottled water, even without all of this nonsense. But
no question. Yeah,
what you are seeing now is the case being made for privatizing the water supply because the water isn't safe to drink unless it's
there you go.
privatized.
There you go. Got to privatize it, clean it up. Yep.
Despite the fact that state office buildings in Flint were getting bottled water.
Right. Right.
And Snyder was saying, oh well, they could have gone in and water. Yeah, right. Like they were going to be allowed access into the buildings to anywhere near the coolers in the offices.
Yeah, 300 million it's a lot of money, but the state's got it. The state could
The
shell it
state's
out.
not going to. They're not going to spend it because it's being spent on the wrong people.
Right. Right. It's in the wrong neck of the woods.
Poor
Yada,
people.
yada. Yeah. But I mean,
See,
it could be done. It just won't be done.
it can be done. And the horrifying thing is that shit's being done to punish black people. And so what if it affects white people? What poor white people have to do, including these these bigots, have to understand is the only reason you're considered white is because the oligarchs at the founding of this nation didn't consider your indentured ass white until the indentured servants and the slaves got together and rebelled. Then suddenly the indentured servants became white. And the rich people have been driving wedges. Have been driving wedges in between people ever since.
Exactly.
Poor white people are being used as the buffer and the cannon fodder to protect their asses, just like the Arab League are using the Palestinians as a buffer between them and Israel, because they're too fucking chicken shit. Saudi Arabia is now finding itself having to fight a war, and they don't like it one bit because it's wrecking their economy.
Yeah, how about that? That's a little different for them shelling out some bucks for some warfare, yeah.
And we shouldn't be fighting that over there. We shouldn't be over there. Saudi Arabia. Why is America having to defend Saudi Arabia when Saudi Arabia has its own fucking air force?
Yeah, and everything else.
Then again, they don't want to spend the money because they're greedy little bastards. Speaking of that, the one of the Saudi princes, I can't remember which one, snarked at Trump about bailing his ass out a couple of times.
Okay.
On Twitter. Wait, you're forgetting that I bailed your ass out, dude.
Yeah. So there's that, of course. I don't know. The Donalds, I just look at the Donalds. I guess he's going to be around. I think he may actually even win the nomination over there.
Well, no, he's actually threatening the folks over in Iowa because he's actually facing the probability that he might hear the word no again.
Right.
And he's preparing to he's a petty tyrant. He pictures himself a godfather. So what's going to happen if he loses Iowa? Is he going to set his boys loose to beat up the caucus the caucus members who voted for his opposition?
Right.
I didn't watch the debate without him, but even with him, those debates had been losing viewers. So he wasn't that big a figure in the debates to begin with. People tuned in to see the first one, and they said, "Well, this is what it's going to be," and they tuned out.
There you go. Yep.
And he doesn't, and all he sees it as a popularity contest and nothing else. Well, look at this. We got more cameras. It's like the Academy Awards. It's all about what are your policies? You're talking about making America great again. How are you going to do that when you're importing H-1B, when you're importing people from Mexico to work in your hotels?
Right.
When you're not even going to give those jobs to Americans? Shit, I would clean a part. I'd be a housemaid if I could get a job, but I'm an American, and they would think that I wouldn't stay there long enough because the job's beneath me. I've cleaned houses. I like the fact that, I
There you
could
go.
get my work done. Nobody was fucking bothering me or
Right.
standing over my shoulder.
Yep.
But you see, if you hire Americans, you have to pay them a minimum wage. If you hire people on a visa, you can pay them less. Plus, you can threaten them with sending them back if they don't, They're basically indentured because they can't go anywhere else.
Right.
They're stuck working for you. Oh, the tech company says we can't find qualified Americans to fill these positions. We have to go. When they're talking about qualified positions, they're talking about people who are willing to work for less than what they should be being paid. American workers, be they union construction workers, bricklayers, fast food workers, are more expensive than importing labor.
Right.
Because you can bring them in on a visa and they are stuck at that job.
Right.
And they can't do jack shit about it because they'll be sent back.
There you go.
And the other thing is if young Americans are seeing that they can't get a decent engineering job or a tech job because they're Americans, why should they go into the sciences? Why should they become engineers, computer technicians,
Right.
network guys? They're not going to be able to get work because they're going to demand to be paid what they are worth.
Indeed. Yep. Round and round we go.
Well,
Yep.
if for the same reason that movie producers love casting non-union because they don't have to pay the minimum, the day minimum. They don't have to pay you $325 for the day. They can pay you by the hour. We'll pay you $50 and food, and you get $50 cash and a meal. Of course, you also don't get
lucky to get that.
You also don't get union breaks, and they can work you, and you don't get the same union protections. And the only time you will get a break if you're a non-union actor is when the crew gets their break. When the union crew gets their mandatory breaks. But you're not going to get a break.
Right.
So, sorry about that. So there's reasons why job protections are needed, and these idiots that are saying you don't need them. They're the ones that
it's a new dawn. We're past the.
And those are the guys, and the ones that say we don't need them are probably the idiots in the right to work at an employer's will. Oh, your car broke down, tough shit. You've been replaced.
Right.
You broke your arm, tough shit. Got to go to a funeral, tough shit. Come to work or you're fired. Got a choice.
Pretty much.
It's like work. It's like having to earn your work and to receive your welfare. God forbid, if you miss an appointment because you got a doctor's appointment, you're cut off. When I was going through the bullshit I was going through, I was actually sitting in the welfare office, and there was a woman there talking with her caseworker saying, "I've got a doctor's appointment I have to go to," and he flat out told her she had a choice: go to her doctor's appointment, or keep her welfare. He was not going to let her go to see her doctor.
I can believe it. I've seen it up close and personal. Not myself personally, but I have seen it. And
And they force you to, like, um, I mean, when I was going there, I kept telling them that I was getting unemployment because I'd been working. And finally, somebody listened to me, and they finally just, oh, you've been concealing. It's like, no, I've been telling you every time I came in that I didn't need this because I was getting unemployment, but I was told by the social worker in the shelter that I needed, if I wanted to get this, I had to take this as, I had to,
right,
if I wanted X, I needed Y, I needed to take Y as well. And
exactly.
he knew full well I was working in unemployment when I went in there.
Yep.
And they just refused to hear it until finally I kept saying, is there some way we can combine what I'm doing here with the job hunting at the unemployment office? Finally, they heard me, and that's when they decided I had been concealing, even though I had been telling them. Every time I went in, I'm working. I'm getting unemployment. I don't need this extra this money.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's weird out there. I mean,
No, it's not weird. I was the one social worker was in my head was trying to fuck me over because he told me I could not get food stamps unless I also took the cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless I
Pretty
unless I
much the way it
became a
works.
thrall to the system, I was shit out of luck with getting any type of benefits, even though he knew better.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's just, it's just the way it's been for the last basically 10, 15 years, really. Everybody just all just piling on. I mean, just
It's
okay,
been
you're
like that
making
for
eight
much
bucks
longer
an hour.
than
Never mind.
that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we don't care your situation. Come to work or don't show up tomorrow. Basically, get in here. We need you in here tonight. We don't care about your mom's funeral. Get in here either way. Otherwise, don't show up tomorrow. That type of thing. And I've seen it right up close and personal.
Yeah,
Sadly, but
it's kind of ridiculous.
it is. It's nonsense.
Speaking of
But
ridiculous, was it Thursday night or last night's Late Show with Stephen Colbert?
yeah.
They edit his genius editors and writing staff
Okay.
culled through. I mean, these guys are like heroes, true heroes. They culled through a whole shitload of Trump videos and created a Trump v. Trump debate with, like, showing Trump contradicting himself on Megyn Kelly, on Hillary Clinton, and all sorts of stuff.
Love it.
Well, he said
Yeah,
this
that's out
about
there.
Megyn Kelly, a few years ago, how she's the best, and now he's saying, she don't know. No, let's talk out of both sides of your
Yeah.
your hairpiece.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And some magazine has put out a call for the Donald for the Donald Trump sex tape, because they're saying he is such an egotist that there has to be a tape out there.
Yeah.
There has
It
to
could
be a
be.
tape out there, a video tape out there.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Marla, are you listening?
She might have something.
Well, she's the only ex-wife he never talks about.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, then again, he blames her for the bad scalp reduction job. A plastic surgeon allegedly botched it. It was Thursday night. Yeah, last night was a rerun. But
Yeah, I have yet to see Colbert on CBS.
you need to. He's.
Yeah. I will get to that eventually.
Well, he's kept the more successful segments of the show, the word without the word.
So he does the word, yeah. Okay.
He does it, but it's reworked, so it doesn't have the same. So it doesn't have the talking, the counterpoint,
right,
bullet points, but you can hear it. So, but you could he's got an awesome team of writers. He's got an incredible production staff. And I keep seeing hints of some people say Jack Parr. I see hints of Johnny Carson.
Right.
Um, you know, some are group.
Well,
I see
I
hints
think it'll be
of the
successful.
of the type of talk show host that actually talked to people.
It's. I mean, he's going to appeal to the the smarter people, the smarter crowd out there. I think the way Dave did, really.
Yeah.
Rather than the Leno crowd. But it's all right.
Well, it was a different crowd. I love watching Fallon. I think Fallon is very funny. He's very extremely talented, very
Right.
smart, very smart comedian. He does smart comedy, but he also enjoys being really being silly. He likes
Yeah, he
playing.
does.
He likes
Yep.
party games, is what it does, and he invites you into the party. Um, and he's just he's an extremely talented performer. He's got a lot of things. I also like James Corden. Like he does great interviews. I think he's a
There you
really
go.
good. I think he's a very good interviewer because again, he talks to his guests. He talks to them.
Right.
He's got a good rapport with Reggie Watts. You know, he just seems that everybody seems to be having a lot of fun with what they're doing and doing their shows in their own way.
Well, it's good that he's on the air. No question about it.
I mean, when he had Donald Rumsfeld on talk about his new app called Churchill Solitaire, which apparently is played by with two decks of cards. He
Okay.
segued that into asking him questions about his decisions on Iraq, and you could see Rumsfeld getting really uncomfortable because
Yeah, I can
basically
see
he
that.
said, "I will." He sort of stated that he'd answer questions. He said, I'll answer if I can," which means I'm not going to say anything that can be used if I ever end up in The Hague.
There you go.
So he's very like dancing around all of that nonsense.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. 417-717-1454. If you want to
Skype
get
us
on
at
here.
netroots.radio. Give us a
Yes,
call,
yes. Join
Listen to
in.
us on
And,
the TuneIn app.
just some stuff
Call
you
us.
maybe
We
not
want to
have
do
heard
a
about. That's all.
call-in show. We need to if we want to have people calling in.
Yes, so we can basically blast you out of the water. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Just,
Really
give
need to
us a shot.
start putting it out there that we would like to have people call in to shut me up.
Yeah. Yes. Indeed. So so don't miss that opportunity right there. That's all. So yeah, the easiest way 417-717-1454, or you can just get us on Skype at netroots.radio.
That's right.
Way to
The
do it.
SAG
That's the way to do it.
Awards were on
Yeah.
tonight, and it was a great night. Idris Elba got 2 awards. One for his role in Beast of No Nation, and the
Okay.
other for the TV drama Luther, which is really a wonderful. God, he's a great actor.
There you go.
He's a really great actor. Uh, um, Carol Burnett got the Life Achievement Award, presented to her by Amy Poehler and Tina Fey. And I love Carol Burnett. She's just brilliant. Just very funny lady.
Yeah, and humble about it.
Yeah, she's hilarious. She's very
Yeah.
funny, very
Right.
good. Steve Carell escorted her up the stage, and it was great. It was adorable. Orange is the New Black won for Best Ensemble Comedy. Transparent won. Jeffrey Tambor won for his role in Transparent.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't remember her name. I can't pronounce it. Uda, from Orange is the New Black,
Yeah. Okay.
won for
I
best
haven't
actress
seen
in a
that yet,
comedy
so.
series. Netflix and Amazon, there's some great stuff.
Yep.
There.
Yeah, I'm behind the 8 ball on a lot of these, but we'll catch up to them eventually here.
But it was really cool. I mean, people don't understand that with these awards that how come the Academy didn't blah 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 blah. That's or musical dramas. And one has to say that Straight Outta Compton would be considered a movie musical,
Right.
rarely get nominated. And it's a phenomenal movie. It's an incredible film. But the actors were nominated. The movie was nominated for SAG Award. It went. I can't remember who won that one. Can't remember who won that. Who won the SAG Award for film?
Huh. Was that on tonight or yesterday?
Yeah, it's on tonight.
Was that tonight?
Yeah.
I thought I kind of
Yeah.
went by it there, but I didn't know. Is this a repeat or what the hell is this?
No,
Okay.
it's on tonight.
All right.
And my feeling is with the Academy, they just didn't know how to consider it, because it's more of an ensemble film.
Yeah.
The subject matter is very sensitive. It still is. There's people that there are people that are still cheesed off about NWA and the Cop Killer song. Not understand So I think there was a lot of fear in the Academy for nominating it, but I also think in the long run that these actors are going to be a lot more successful without that first Academy Award. Because a lot of actors and directors who win an Academy Award, it's almost like a kiss of death for their careers, because their agents start looking for that script that will get them another Academy Award, because they are now expected to always work at that caliber.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, Leonardo DiCaprio has made some incredible films.
Yep.
But I also think he's been incredibly fortunate that he's never won an Academy Award. Because if he had won an Academy Award earlier on in his career, there's a lot of movies he never would have made.
No question. And I don't really think he gives a flying flip about the awards. I mean, I'm sure he wants one eventually. But,
yeah.
But
I do think Will Smith was robbed.
Yeah.
I really think he was robbed. But again, it's an uncomfortable subject.
Right.
When you're talking about a major professional sport where the majority of players today are African American, getting their brains bounced around their skulls.
Yeah, no question. Yep.
Over and over and over again, and they're still going out onto the field to play, and they're being told not to, but unless they're the doctors say you have to get out and play, or the owners are pressuring players to get back out there.
Right. Yeah.
Or they're not allowed to heal.
No, there's no time to heal in football
until any major sport. I mean, Steph Curry came out and played hurt.
Yeah.
He'd come out and play until he started to hurt, and then he'd go off court. Then when he felt better, his leg felt better, he'd come back on and play. Now was that his decision? I mean, he could have played the first quarter, and then sat the rest of the game out, and he would not have missed the game.
Yep.
So, but again, I think, on both accounts for both films, I think the actors, specifically Will Smith was robbed, because he's evolved into a really amazing actor.
Yes, very good.
Oh, Queen Latifah won for her role as Bessie Smith.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
Good too. But Will Smith has really grown over the years.
She's another actress who has grown immensely.
Yep.
And someday films will be cast and plays will be cast on the basis of talent.
Yep.
Not on how you think the character is supposed to look.
Right. Yeah, Will Smith is up there. He's a good actor. No doubt about it.
done some phenomenal work.
Yep.
Especially in the role as the doctor who found the repetitive, concussions and the brain damage.
Yep.
Just a phenomenal thing. That Howard Hughes was crazy, but Howard Hughes had one head injury too many too.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did at least one too many.
Yeah, he had one too many head injuries, and that's
Yep.
what made him appear crazy.
Right.
And and now he thinks the doctor believes that O.J. Simpson's behavior could be a product of repetitive concussion. Even though there is no recorded instance of him ever going out of the game with a concussion, they didn't, report those things. Those, you got hit, you got down, you got up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just the quarterbacks and the linebackers. When you take down a running back, they're gonna probably get their heads bounced around on the ground. That's a hell of a lot fucking harder than like smacking somebody's helmet with your helmet.
Yeah.
Well, it's no excuse for his behavior, it gives a basis for the behavior.
Yep. Unfortunately, going to see it for a long time to come.
But then again, I am of the opinion that he didn't do it because there was too many things that were. I mean, especially where the car was parked. If he had done it, he would have driven his car back into his driveway, and he wouldn't have had to climb over the fence and over the wall. In fact, his knees were in such bad shape from his running back days, he couldn't have climbed the wall. He had no knees. He didn't have that type of leg strength.
Right.
And because his car was parked on the street, the cops didn't need a warrant. It was on public property.
Exactly.
He could have easily, driven the car back up into his driveway. But no, he didn't drive his, that part of it didn't make any sense. Also, there wasn't enough blood in his car for the bloodiness of that crime. And I said this last week, and it's always bothered me. If I see a star throwing a perfectly good duffel bag away at an airport, I'm going to fucking go retrieve it for a souvenir.
There you go.
That's the other thing is, we saw him throw this away, but, we didn't go and get it. Why not?
Yeah, it's kind of stupid, yeah.
Why would he throw a perfectly good duffel bag away at the airport? It wouldn't have been examined it would not have been examined going through it, going through the plane.
Yeah.
There was no TSA security at that time. He didn't have to just, lots of things don't make sense. And the gloves, I also think, weren't his.
Could be.
And also,
they may not have been.
They're saying, oh yeah, but he was wearing gloves. Yeah, but he was wearing surgical gloves, which are thin.
Yeah, these are leather.
It wouldn't have mattered. It was not going to add that much bulk to his hands.
Oh, not at all.
When they hear rubber gloves, they think, Playtex,
yeah,
dishwashing gloves.
Than that. Yeah.
Also, Furman. And this was another big problem for me just watching the trial.
Right.
He was the lead detective from the homicide division until the city called in robbery homicide because it had more resources. And Furman's nose was out of joint because he was no longer running the investigation.
Right.
And if you remember, when they initially searched the car, they didn't find any blood in the car. Then when they got it to the impound and examined it, they discovered blood on the door jamb.
There you go.
And he admitted on the stand that when they were searching the car before it was towed away, that he found blood on the door jamb. And he was asked, did you tell anybody about this? And he said, quote, "No, it wasn't my investigation."
Right.
And at that point, to me, it didn't matter
Yeah.
if Simpson was guilty or not.
No, it doesn't.
Furman
The
should have been
prosecution at that point blew it. No doubt
no.
about it.
At that point, and the other reason why it didn't matter is that at that point, Furman should have been charged with obstructing should have been charged with obstruction.
Yep, no question.
Because his failure to inform the lead detective on the case that he had found blood in the door jamb on the car there is what gave rise to everybody saying the blood was planted at the police yard by the police.
Right. And could have been.
And to me, and I'm thinking that maybe when the jury heard Furman say that, they went, okay, they couldn't convict him because they couldn't trust anything the police said after that. I know if I heard that, I wouldn't trust the police.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it looks like a lot of the evidence seemed to be planted. That's for sure. I mean, maybe not directly.
Well, I keep saying everybody was also again talking about, oh, he was doing this movie Navy SEALs and he got SEAL training. If you watch the movie, he's in it, yes, but he's a helicopter pilot.
There you go.
Because by then he was too fucking old to portray a Navy SEAL,
yeah.
And he had
no knees,
and he didn't have any knees,
really,
so he couldn't have done a piece of that training.
Right.
So he didn't learn any SEAL technique.
Yeah.
And if they had been taught that, I can guarantee you, if they had been taught SEAL technique and even how to make it look real, there wouldn't have been the amount of blood at the murder site.
There's definitely a lot of questions about that trial, no doubt about that. And OJ's knees, no doubt, were even worse than mine. And anybody seen me hopping around at any of the NN events knows that I don't move too well anymore these days either. So
that's my big thing. And you're listening to the Roundhouse Power Hour of repetitive conversations here on netrootsradio.com.
Yeah, my knees are pretty much shot. I don't move that quickly anymore these days. So, but there's a lot of evidence in that case. You just wondered about, no doubt about it.
And
my aunt, who watched almost every minute of that thing on TV on CNN at the time, didn't think he was guilty. But I mean, she just said this is a bunch of nonsense, yada yada yada. It's a frame job, yada. But I don't know. I mean, who knows? But he may have done it. But then there's no question.
I don't think he did it. I think he knows who did.
Yep.
I think he knows.
Prosecution botched that case big time, and
the prosecution didn't. The police botched it with
mostly the police. Mostly
the police. Furman botched it. Like I said, as soon as Furman said it wasn't my investigation, I didn't care if he did it or not.
Right.
At that point, I was really surprised that the Dream Team didn't ask that the case, ask for an investigation on that because that could have been like right there.
Yeah, it could have been their case actually. So just dismiss this. We can't trust the evidence anymore.
Yeah. The Goldmans and Simpson's families are upset because they're not they're not mentioned, but it's it's sort of like yes, but they are ever present. They don't need to be mentioned because it's about the trial.
Right.
And again, Goldman was in the wrong place at the wrong time. If he had not, if Nicole Simpson Brown had not left her sunglasses at the restaurant, he never would have been there because he was returning the glasses to her.
Right.
And again, I feel that he happened to walk onto the property while she was being murdered, and he was there just because he was a witness.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Yep. He was not meant to be there.
And again, there just wasn't enough blood in Simpson's car. There was very, very little blood found in the car and only on the door jamb, if I remember correctly. There was nothing found in the back of the car.
Right.
They never found the murder weapon, There wasn't enough blood. Because that was like a really bloody crime scene.
Yeah, it was nasty, no doubt. 2 people.
So there would have been a lot of blood on the perpetrator.
Yep.
And they didn't find any bloody clothes. They didn't find any evidence that he. Oh, but
They couldn't find any clothes to. Yeah.
Oh, but it was in his duffel bag. No, it wasn't.
Well, if it was, they should
They
have
found
grabbed it.
They've really found no physical evidence that actually
Right.
tied him to it. It was all circumstantial.
Yes, it was. Yep.
Oh, there's.
Yeah, very interesting case, no doubt about it.
The
Like I say,
Akita didn't
I
bark.
was.
Well, that
I
doesn't
was.
necessarily mean it was him. It just means that the Akita. Then they got mad because they let him have the Akita. As well and well, if the dog wasn't barking, that means the dog knew whomever it was, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was Simpson. And like I said, I don't really care if he did it or not, because as far as I am concerned, the police fucked up the investigation.
Yep, big time. Well, they thought they had him pegged, and they wanted to make sure the evidence indicated that, and whatever they could do to make that happen, they did. And by doing that, they pretty much botched the case, no doubt. And now there is a question of did he do it or didn't? I don't know. I always thought that. I've always held out a little bit of maybe he didn't do it. Yeah.
Well, like I said, it didn't matter to me. Like after that one piece of testimony, it didn't matter to me.
Yep.
And as you can tell, that is the only, and
very possible that he didn't do it. Yeah.
Then Cato Kalin was an opportunist. Al
I guess there's
Collins.
a movie coming out on that. I saw that for a movie.
Yeah, that's what everybody's upset about. That's the Goldman and
okay, the Goldman
Simpson
side of it?
families. No, it's it's the trial.
Oh, okay.
And the families are pissed off that there's no flashbacks with Nicole and Ron.
Right.
It's all about the him and the trial. Well, yeah, that's what it's all about.
Ah, weird. Okay.
It's all about the trial.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Well, you mean you actually want to have it inferred that your son was boffing Nicole Simpson? Because that's how they were portrayed in the media. Not that he was somebody she knew, as an acquaintance and not a friend. Going to bring in the allegations of Nicole and her friends being drug users? Because that was an allegation that was made by one of her friends.
Right.
Not by Simpsons and his people, but by one of her friends that said she felt that, did they ever do a talk screen on her? Of course not. She was Nicole Brown Simpson.
Right.
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 The stupid little white girl. That's what, Actually, here I heard people going, well, that's what he gets for marrying a white girl.
Yeah, you get that too, yeah.
But, well.
Just, it was unfortunate, no doubt about it. I mean, I don't know who did what there, but there's no question that the police botched that case big time.
And do they really want to bring in the kids? Because the kids are going to have to make an appearance.
Yep.
Really want to have a thing where the cops are badgering the kids about who they heard mommy arguing with?
Right.
They didn't put the ear witness on the stand because he said, I heard mommy arguing with a man. Not with daddy, but with a man.
Right.
But other than that, and then I wrote.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, and then I wrote. Go back to the SAG Awards. Much more fun. It was really awesome to watch. Watch the awards and see real actors honoring other actors, not the popularity contest that the Academy Awards can be. Well, it's all a popularity contest.
A lot of it is, yeah. But still.
And I will say that Ice Cube's son really looks like him. We know who Daddy is. I mean, and he and the other two guys from the film. What a good-looking group of young men they are. Oh, that's all I'm going to say about that. Good-looking young men.
Okay. What movie's that?
Straight Outta Compton.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that should be a good one. Yeah.
It is a good
I'll
one.
be
It's a
looking to
very
see
good
it.
one. It's
Yeah.
uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be.
Even but it's really really good storytelling.
Yep.
And
Yeah, it should be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to that one actually.
yeah.
Uh, and the soundtrack's got to be awesome.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
There's actually an unrated director's cut which I want to get as soon as I get a DVD player. So yeah.
Right.
But
right.
they had some clips of Carol Burnett from Once Upon a Mattress, some early stuff she did. Last night on PBS, I caught the tail end of a American Masters, Mike Nichols. And it was so cool seeing Elaine May and all the people he worked with, talking about him. So one, Mary Tyler Moore and another very, very wonderfully talented, funny woman, straight woman. I mean, it was great.
Right.
It's what I do late night. I don't go to sleep. I watch the stuff that I don't watch during the day because there's
It's
nothing
all
really.
good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I woke up yesterday morning, turned the TV on. There was no sign. I'm going, what the hell? Checked all the connections and went to the Samsung site to see if there was anything. Check and make sure everything's plugged in right. And then I went, maybe I'll try resetting the cable box. So I unplugged the cable box, plugged it back in, and everything's fine.
There you go. You're back in business. Yeah.
Yes. Cooking tip: if you want mashed potatoes, but you don't want all the carbohydrates of mashed potatoes, seriously, steam cauliflower and then mash it.
Okay.
Because it gets the same consistency.
Yeah.
And then you can stuff yourself on it.
Okay.
Without the guilt. Because I
did
that the other
butter,
night.
Or you use some other maybe.
You can put butter
margarine.
on it. I have an old vegan spread that's actually really good.
Okay, there you go.
It's really good. It's yeah. The other night I cooked dinner and I had green beans and oven fried chicken and steamed mashed cauliflower.
Love it.
Instead of potatoes. And it was good. I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Because I figure, I am trying to drop down to trying to get at least to 130 by that's 35 pounds, kids. I'm trying to lose by Netroots Nation.
There you go.
And the way I will know it's working is when I can get into 34 waist pants and I don't have to lie down to close them. So it's about time for me to go clothes shopping just to see what's going on. Yeah, it's
well, you lose 15, 20 pounds, it makes a difference. So
Yeah, because hoping. Well, I'm on the medication that I'm taking for the medication that I'm taking. The side effects on at least one of them is weight gain. So it's always a lot of fun to try and lose weight when it's caused by your medications because it's harder to lose than if it's just from, stuffing yourself.
Right.
I don't eat it, and it's also probably because I actually don't eat enough.
Right.
Seriously. I don't even get 1,200 calories a day. And I started tracking what I eat with an app called MyFitnessPal. And I'm thinking, and I know I don't eat a lot, but it's like, I really don't eat a lot. I've had 2/3 of my calorie intake yesterday. I had slightly over 600 maybe more because I didn't list the 2 slices of pizza I had today.
There you go.
But they were plain slices. So it's going to be mostly the carbohydrates from the pizza dough.
Yeah, it's good stuff though.
If
fill you up.
Yeah. Well, actually, what fills you up better is fat.
Okay.
You know, that's the whole problem with nutrition is they keep changing it on you. You know, so your body needs fat because it's fat that helps keep you regular, along
There
with
you
the
go.
fiber. Fiber helps
Okay.
push it out, and the fat helps keep it smooth. You know, get the nice smooth move. Your body needs fat. Your brain needs fat. Your body needs fat because that's actually what you burn for calories, for energy more than carbohydrates, which turn to sugars, which are harder
There
to
you
burn
go.
off.
There you go.
I mean, I've got a shitload of pasta, and I haven't had pasta in like 7 months.
Wow. Yeah.
I've got egg, you know.
Good stuff. Can't go wrong with pasta. I mean, granted, it's a little heavy on the carbs and all that stuff, but boys, it'll do the trick.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
I love to cook good foods. So I'm
Got a
working with
couple minutes.
417
417-717-1454. You must
Skype
speak
us
in
at
here.
netroots.radio and give us your
Do with
diet
that. So,
tips.
you
I'm
got
working
something
with
cooking.
resistance bands because I can do that anywhere. I got a bike now, so I just need to get a helmet
Yeah.
and
Yep.
gloves and get the tires and get it tuned up and make sure that my cables are all in good working order and there's air in the tires. And then I can go kill myself.
And you can ride in the park.
No, I would ride along the Hudson River. There's a bike lane there. I'd rather do that than get run over by the guys on the racing bikes.
Yeah, true. Yeah. No doubt about that. Yeah, you get those racing bikes going. They're doing about 30 miles an hour. Yeah. Forget that. You don't want to get run over, as they say by that. My uncle used to say.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
You know, but I will say that according to this nice heart rate app called Cardio, considering that I am considered obese because of my weight, my heart rate is really good. I have a nice low heart rate, 60.
Awesome.
It's like really like 63
That's
beats
really
per
good,
minute.
yeah.
Considering I'm 164.
Yeah.
So my heart rate shows that I'm in good shape.
Awesome.
Now I just need to take the fat that I'm carrying around my midsection and turn that into 30 pounds of muscle, and then I won't care if I weigh what I weigh.
There you go.
I just want clothing to fit. I don't, if I have to weigh 164, I want it to be solid. I want it to be muscle.
Yeah.
Because I know muscle weighs more than fat does, but I won't look fat.
Right. Got about 30 seconds, 25, 30 seconds. We got to get out of here. And of course, Gibber tomorrow night, same bad time, midnight.
Same bad station.
East Coast and 9 o'clock on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And
what are we staying? Everybody next Saturday night.
Yes.
And we'll be gibbering about something. I know that. And we'll find out something to do. All right. With that, we're out of here. And see everybody next Saturday night.
Night all.